Harris is always good for a word salad. So here she goes. Apparently, Republicans want to ban women's history. Roll it.
And most recently, they even want to eliminate classes that teach, quote, gender ideology. Well, so what are we talking about here? Classes that teach women's history? Women's equality? The study of the fact that there are still only 25 women in the United States Senate in a body of 100?
Who wants to tell her? Does she even know the difference? Maybe her party really has eliminated this concept of women. My next guest is the president of American Principles Project, Terry Schilling. Welcome back to the program. Does she not know what gender ideology is?
No.
It's like you're playing a game with us, right?
These are the experts of gender ideology, right? These are the gender shakedown artists, right? They're the new Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons that go in and shake these people down for campaign cash. That's what this is, and she's just trying to play the card, the gender card. They've maxed out the race card, and now it's time to play the gender card. And by the way, they're doing this. They're reframing it to be about women's history because the trans issue is not popular with the American people. Newsflash, the American people will never go along with the idea that men can get pregnant and have babies, but they will support women's history. So this is just them trying to reinvent everything and reframe the debate. And frankly, I won't be shocked to see this continue to go on. This is the first play.
I guess nobody's learning from the Bud Light controversy. Look, and I don't want to spend too much time on the Miller Lite one. On the wokey scale, I'll give that one like a 2 compared to like the 10 that was Bud Light. You know, we got your women's empowerment commercial. They've already taken that one down. But sooner or later, these companies are going to learn. What do you want to do first, Target or this Wisconsin sorority house?
The sorority house is a great one. I mean, what's happening there is insane.
All right. I was a fraternity guy, and I remember going to Serenade. Were you in a fraternity?
No,
okay.
No.
So you have this goofy thing when you go and you dress up and you serenade, like you bring your pledges around, you serenade all the sororities. If a sorority girl were to invite you to dinner, you stand up, they tell everyone who you are, and the house mother greets you and all that. It was a very formal affair. But one thing you might not know about sorority houses, at least from my experience, was men were not allowed upstairs. Not even brothers, not even fathers, maybe on move-in day, but most sororities have like crazy rules about conduct and decorum and where men can go and can't go. In this sorority house, they had a trans woman who was apparently pleasuring himself in front of the other women. I thought, all this whole thing about, using bathrooms and stuff, this is literally men moving into sorority houses and acting like really disgusting men.
No, that's right. And so, look, I think this is a really great example to educate people that, are aware of this issue but don't truly understand it yet. The entire point of feminism in the beginning, by the actual architects of feminism, was to destroy gender. Right? They don't want to advance women. They don't want to elevate them to the status of men. They were already elevated above men. Women were venerated in this country. They wanted to destroy gender. And that's why so many feminists don't speak up and oppose the trans movement. It's because the trans movement is the latest attempt to finally destroy gender once and for all. And they've managed to convince every single elite institution in America, including the American Medical Association, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, right? They're advancing and promoting sex changes for kids. They want to make us all androgynous. They think that distinctions on the basis of sex, which you can't erase because biology exists, and reality exists, they think that distinctions on the basis of sex are bad and that we need to eliminate that. And that's what this whole transgender pushes. So expect more men, weird, creepy guys to do this, because the consequences for opposing trans theology are a lot more drastic than upsetting a couple dozen sorority sisters at the University of Wisconsin or Wyoming.
Wyoming. I said Wisconsin. Sorry, Wyoming. Carrie Sheffield from the Independent Women's Forum was on this program last night to talk about some research she did that shows there's an uptick in church attendance by Gen Z. And maybe the pendulum is starting to swing back a little bit. That, look, when you're a teenager in your early 20s, you kind of want to unmoor yourself from maybe the traditions of your parents. You want to get out there and, you want to float around and find your own way. But when you see what's out there, right, you get a little distance. It's fun. You stay up a little bit later. You party with your friends. You date without, your parents sitting on top of you. But when you see the kind of craziness that's out there, like living in a sorority house is supposed to be this positive experience for young women, right? Sisterhood. And then a man moves in. It doesn't surprise me that young people are trying to moor themselves back to something stable that provides, a path. I mean, the joke going around now is the counterculture of the 60s was, hippies, free love, drug use. Counterculture now is going to church and starting a family.
No, that's exactly right. And the younger you start off having kids and getting married, the more countercultural you are. Listen, I think there's some really healthy trends happening in this country. The churches that are the strongest, and I'm talking about, Second Baptist with Pastor Dr. Ed Young in Houston and Pastor Rob McCoy out in California. These types of churches that have a really strong and bold message against this world and calling for altruism and to aim for something higher, they're growing like crazy. And the churches that are trying to make their church more like the world and not distinguish themselves, those ones are dying. The whole point of the church is to make the world more heavenly. But there's been this crazy movement that's been seeking to make the churches more worldly, and that's why those churches are dying. We want something higher than ourselves. We want a higher morality. We want a higher purpose than what the world offers us, and so those churches are dying, and the ones that are offering a bold, higher vision of morality and a better way to live, those churches are thriving, and those pastors should be commended because they're doing the Lord's work, literally.
All right, look at some of these images. Put them up on the screen from Target. You've got some very outraged moms posting on social media. Target used to be kind of like, I guess maybe a little hipper alternative to Walmart, and you could still buy, clothes for your kids at a decent price. You wouldn't get, banged up. But now they're not even waiting for Pride Month, which started out as Pride Week and Pride Day. Now they're starting to sell Pride kids clothing all year with a nod towards transgenderism. And some parents are like, I can't even shop at Target anymore. We got a minute. Finish it up.
Woke white women will be the destruction and the cause of the destruction of this great nation. They are so foolish. They're
in charge of beer marketing. They're in charge of beer marketing.
It's nuts, Andrew. I mean, these are people that think there's nothing wrong with sex changes for minors, right? They want your kids to be gay. They think kids are sexual. These woke white women have these sex camps in Kentucky where they teach kids how to masturbate and they teach them how to be sex workers. It's woke white women. The vast majority of Americans are good. We just need to, silence these people and move on and elect more governors like Ron DeSantis that will fight against all this woke nonsense, because that's the only way that this is going to go to bed.